most helpful thing is someone to give me a room, you know, a bed. It's not a lot to ask, really.
Some people prefer to be homeless because they don't want the stress of mainstream, you know, like keeping up with the Joneses, you know, 9 till 5 and all that kind of stuff.
Well, they look at you as if like you're scum or something, you know, because you're having to resort to this to be able to eat. It's a necessity, you've got to do it. Although you don't want to do it, it's degrading, you've got to do it to survive.
It's horrible. 2 weeks ago I was asleep outside McDonald's and I got kicked in the stomach by someone drunk.
Manchester. It's an iconic city known for football, music and culture, but it's also home to hundreds of people who spend their nights on the streets. I'm taking this as my opportunity to see what help is provided and what we can do to make a change. Homelessness is a noticeable problem in many towns and cities across the UK. The growing number of homeless people becomes increasingly worrying as it becomes harder to tackle, especially for the victims as it's a hole they can't get out of, and this problem doesn't hesitate for anyone, with it affecting more than 120,000 children. The statistics for UK hotspots are nothing but concerning, with homelessness affecting every 1 in 63 people in Luton and 1 in every 266 people in Manchester. And if this isn't worrying enough, around 120,000 children are housed in temporary accommodation or on the streets. Despite these figures being concerning, it's more concerning that there is a lack of help with these numbers constantly rising. This has made me want to learn more about the everyday struggle homeless people encounter and what help they actually get, whether it be from the public or the council.
There's not enough awareness of how we can help them other than personally giving them money.
I know there are places that people can go, but I don't know whether it's limited. I don't know whether it's just for a certain amount of people that can go. And what about the people if there aren't enough spaces? Where can they go?
The most helpful thing, potentially more volunteers, more funding, more specific help for individual homeless people.
Are there places where we can take donations to, of blankets, of clothes, of water, or give donations to somebody where you know it actually gets to them?
Homeless people are stereotyped to be substance abusers, which leads to the breakdown of jobs and households. However, the 3 main causes of homelessness are relatives or friends being unwilling or unable to accommodate, relationship breakdowns including domestic violence, or the loss of assured short-hold tenancy.
You know, I don't like to associate with them and I don't drink.
Kind of rowdy, some of them, you know. Some of them are quite dangerous. They'd probably stab you or bottle you or just over a sleeping bag or anything, you know.
Someone somewhere in this country is failing homeless people. With ongoing daily problems, 1 in every 5 homeless people suffer with a mental health disorder that will just go untreated. As well as this, 90% of homeless women are victims of severe physical or sexual abuse, whether this be on the streets or the reason they're homeless in the first place. Homelessness doesn't have any boundaries and can and will affect anyone. Around 120,540 children are being housed in temporary accommodation with their families, which is an alarming net increase of 37% since the second quarter in 2014. Councils across England are housing the equivalent of an entire secondary school every month as the number of homeless children in temporary accommodation soars according to local government leaders. As well as this, 57,000 veterans are homeless. According to the HUD, 60% are in shelters, with the rest being on the streets or sofa surfing. Around 5,000 of these are females.
JVA, the Joint Veterans Association, is a homeless charity that helps homeless veterans in Salford and Manchester. I I tend to help run the soup kitchen and hand out tents. We help homeless veterans that are living on the streets. We don't just help them though, we help people, any homeless person we can help, but our main target is the homeless veterans. We provide tents, ground sheets, food. We provide them with information to get health treatments for drugs and alcohol. We help them find the veteran association in their area so they can actually get in contact with the government. We can help them find housing, jobs, anything in between. We have a soup kitchen that runs as well. We don't only help the homeless as well, we help people that are poor. We are like travelling food bank as well. We'll go and give food to poorer families as well. Mostly through donations, but our two founders tend to pay a lot out of pocket for tents and food and things like that. We're based in Salford and Manchester. Well, the soup kitchen serves about 150 people, and last check I think it was like 200 tents we've given away, and that's just to veterans. We've given more away, but we don't tend to log the ones that aren't for veterans.
I reckon as a homeless person it would feel, I'm going to be honest, cold.
Upsetting, distressing.
I reckon it would feel lonely as well. I think I would feel horrendous. I think I'd feel like I was invisible, that I didn't matter.
In here at night time, and you get a crowd of people, especially if they're all drunk, you know what I mean? You're not sure if they're going to get attacked or you're on your own, so depressed, hopeless, you know what I mean? I've got nothing, they've took everything. All my possessions I lose because I can't take them with me.
When I'm on my own, it's scary. When I'm not on my own, I feel alright.
There are many different homeless charities within Manchester. They all have different purposes to fit each homeless person's needs. Shelter is a Manchester-based charity which helps homeless families get back on their feet. They offer face-to-face services, legal support and expert advice. They carry out groundbreaking research to understand more about the UK's housing problem and then develop policies that offer solutions. With the support from campaigners, they call on the government and others to help tackle the causes and consequences of the housing crisis. They constantly work with the media to ensure people's voices are heard. Mustard Tree is also another Manchester-based charity. Their mission is to tackle both the cause and consequence of poverty by offering provision, progression and partnership. They strongly believe in equality and therefore create an environment in which everyone is unconditionally welcomed and ensure that everyone is accepted and treated with dignity. As well as these, Barnabas is another drop-in centre. Their goal is to see people settled in secure accommodation and moving on in all areas of their lives. As well as offering financial support, the scheme provides a variety of tenancy support. They ensure that properties are suitable and that people receive the correct benefits they are entitled to. However, these aren't the only charities available around Manchester, with Street Support, Booth Centre and Forever Manchester, who constantly work around the clock to help homeless people and tackle Manchester's homeless crisis.